Hi, Zizaran here with another build guide for Last Epoch, and this is going to be a build collab with Bina for Thorn Totem. And a really cool thing about this build is that it can stay the same skill early on while leveling that you're actually using endgame. So that's a little bit different from a lot of Last Epoch guides. Very, very strong, very fun to play. And yeah, Bina, tell me a little bit, how does this build play? And tell me about the skills it uses.
Alright, this build uses Thorn Totem, which you're actually going to proc from being in Spriggan form and using your healing totems. So as you can see, as I go along here and upon my healing totems, these are going to shoot thorns, which also scales with your Thorn Totem tree. And so it's basically just a one-button build, very, very easy to play. Just spawning these totems, they do everything for you. They shoot at range. They actually deal a lot of damage. They grab aggro for you. They heal you as well. It does pretty much everything for you as a one-button build. So it's an extremely good starter build. Yeah, highly recommend.
So this would also be a really good build for anyone that's like disabled or missing a limb and things like that as well then.
Exactly, yes. You could basically just, if you have a mouse, if you have one hand, you map one button to your mouse and you're good to go, basically.
Amazing.
Now, if you'd like to use more than one button, though, you certainly can. You have on your right-click Spirit Thorns. Spirit Thorns, we're going to use to proc Storm Totem via the Stormcarved Testament Relic. So that gives us access to more damage because we're already scaling totems, and also a nice 40% movement speed buff, which will increase our movement speed through the maps dramatically. And then there's also the unique Ring Silverfron, which turns your summon vines into a movement ability. And this will actually make it so that when you summon your vines, your character is teleported to the location of your vines. These are not mandatory for the build to function, but these are quite nice additions as well that you can get into your build and optimize a little bit.
So for those that are used to following my Path of Exile guides, and we use the third-party Path of Building tool, in this, we're only using the Maxroll website, and they have a lot of really, really good tools that make it easy to follow. You can hover over any uniques, etc., and they have a very step-by-step, similar to how I do my Path of Exile guides, with it shows you exactly what skill point follows which one for all the skills. And then for the passive tree, it's the same. It'll even like change between the different trees for when you're putting points. So like your 15th point or whatever this is, it's going to be Thicket of Thorns, etc. And it's very easy and straightforward to follow. And as well for like starting gear and advanced gear, endgame gear, etc. You can see that here all the starting gear is only like rares. There's no uniques that you need early. And then best in slot will be like the absolutely min-maxed items that you want for the build. Now, this is actually a really nice build in the sense that you can actually be using Thorn Totem all the way early, and it's not updated right now, but they're promised that the Shaman leveling guide will be updated for launch, and that's a leveling guide that Tarek does, which is basically the same skills. So you are using Summon Thorn Totem, and then I think around level 25, you're able to get Spriggan form and able to start accessing that. And this is also super like easy, and you're using the same skills that you're doing at the end game. So very, very easy to follow, and they've just done a really amazing work with this. So very cool, easy to follow, and I just wanted to show that off. So Bina, what would be the most important uniques, and is there anywhere to target farm them?
Yes, so this build actually uses quite a few uniques, and the most important ones would probably be Death Rattle, which is the amulet, which gives you up to 100% minion critical strike multiplier. So very, very important to increase your damage dramatically as soon as you get this. And then there's also the ring, which you can target farm at the same place, the Silverfron ring. It lets you use summon vines to have a movement ability while you are in Spriggan form. And both of these you can farm in the Age of Winter Monolith timeline, or alternatively you can use a Rune of Ascendance to try to grab it. And there's also one other really, really good unique for the build, which is the Legacy of the Quiet Forest Belt. That one will essentially cap your poison res only because you're being transformed. It will give you Void Res as well, so half of your Void Res that you need to stack to 75%, and also give you Rage gain every 3 seconds while in Spriggan form. And since this is a pure Spriggan form build, you actually get a lot of benefit from this and lets you sustain your Rage quite easily.
Very nice.
And that one is actually farmed in the Fall of the Empire Monolith timeline.
And Bina, what are some pros and cons of the build?
So the biggest pro of the build is that you can actually start playing with Thorn Totem as early as level 4. So if you want to level with it, like from chapter 1 onwards up until the very, very end game, you can do so. So it's very easy to play. Basically one button. It has pretty high damage. Like one of the best pros I say about this build is that it does everything in the game very, very well, but it's not the best at anything. So you won't have the highest single target DPS. You won't be the tankiest of classes. You won't be the fastest mono clearer, but you can do all of these things super, super well with very, very minimal investment. This is kind of like the EA Ballista of Path of Exile, I'd say.
Nice.
So it's pretty, yeah. So it's like really, really safe as well, since your damage, your sustain, and everything is tied into only one ability, and it's a range playstyle, and it automatically targets anything in range. So because usually minion builds are not very good because of the AI, but if you have just a stationary minion, then the AI only shoots at the targets, so it becomes pretty good actually. And if I would go for the cons of this build is that, well, your mobility skill is tied to having a unique item. So if you don't have the unique, then you don't have any mobility skill. You don't have no life leech, so your sustain is tied to your totems. This can be at increasingly at more difficult settings, actually more difficult to sustain your health because you're reliant on having your totems sustain you. So you're not having like instant leech like a very high damage build can have. You cannot face tank because you're not the tankiest of class, and you're kind of reliant on your minion as well because you have the summon Spriggan companion, which gives you tremendous buffs that you need to keep alive to be able to benefit from those buffs.
Awesome. So there you have it, guys. Thorn Totem, the EA Ballista of Last Epoch. I hope you guys like these build collabs. I'm trying to show off the best PoE. So there you have it, guys. The EA Ballista of Last Epoch. I hope you guys are enjoying these build collabs. I'm trying to show off the absolute best Last Epoch creators so that you guys know who to ask for help and tips at the launch, because these people have been playing the game so much, so they're absolute experts and they're going to be going really hard at launch. So we're really doing a lot of collabs and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Either way, go make sure you show Bina a lot of love. Everything is in the description down below. Awesome dude, really works hard. And yeah, if you like the video, subscribe, and the most important thing of all, try to die less than I do.